of you may see it cool, but all of you don't. I know you don't, because God gave me the message to give to you. So you don't have to trick me with that one.
All right now.
I already know that.
Amen.
And God is so unique. God will do it just for one person.
All right.
Now I'm thinking it's 2 or 3, but I know He'll do it for one.
All right now.
In the book of Job, which you've heard of and you read of, in the book of Job, we understand that Satan went to God. He cursed you.
That's what he said.
So we know that Job first experienced the loss of his children. He experienced the loss of all of his servants and his cattle and all of his livestock. But Job had the audacity after that to get on his knees. And the scripture said, he began to say, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away.
Yes.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. So he prayed and he praised.
Yes.
And then scripture say, in all that Job didn't sin against God.
All right.
So Satan figured, you know what? I don't really have him like I wanted to have him. He didn't really do what I thought he would do.
All right.
But he went back to God. He said, God, that's because you have a hedge around him. Yes, you allowed that stuff to happen to everything else, but there's a hedge around him. And he said, if in fact you remove that hedge, he said, then Job will curse you to your face. Now let me impute you in here real quick, because we're talking about a virtual service. Amen. In your virtual service, you have to ask yourself, when Satan first went to God about you,
All right.
amen,
Amen.
then how did you respond? So now you have to ask yourself, how many obstacles did you get over trusting that God was able? But has there been, or is there an obstacle now present that has stumped you in your growth?
Come on now.
Is there an obstacle that you're facing now that has somehow stumped you and has not allowed you to serve God on the capacity that you once served Him? Oh, this is when it'll get real. This is when that virtual stuff get ready to come out. Just give me a minute. So Job is now experiencing this. Job at one point would say, you know what? Blessed be the name of the Lord. You at one point was at least on the usher board. You at one point was singing in the choir. You at one point was faithful in your time. You come to Bible study. You at one point began to say, God, praises is what I do. You at one point put a lot of devotional scriptures even on your Facebook. You at one point told everybody, you know what? When Satan tried to hit me, I just rebuke him in Jesus' name. But then something happened in your life that now has stumped you. To where now, you said, don't let Satan know what your right hand and left. You now start coming with all this other, spooky stuff. Because you don't want to talk loud. Because you don't figure you done made Satan so mad, he hear everything you say. So now you begin to say, I just don't want to let nobody know what I'm doing. You now operate in such a spiritual spook attitude mindset that you can't even worship God, because you figure every time I come to church and worship God, something always happens when I leave. So I'm going to just be quiet when I'm here. Let me pull you into this. So Job was once loud for God, praising Him and doing everything he could do. Now Job is at a point to where he gets stumped. Job now is facing an obstacle that he had not known before then. Have you ever faced an obstacle that you didn't know? See, let me tell you something. Church. It's easy to talk about what God will do as long as you don't have to experience it. We sing songs that say, you know what? He's water in dry places, but you've never technically been in a dry place. Yeah, you say, well, I've been in the desert. I've been in Las Vegas and stuff, but you wouldn't really dry because they still had running water somewhere. So you can't really say that. You say he's bread in the starving land. But from the looks of everybody, none of us has ever starved to any degree. So we don't really know that. But guess what? We don't believe the report. But now it's you sitting in the midst of this. Now it's you facing whatever fears you face, whatever troubles you face. Now it's you. And now that it's you, how are you going to deal with this obstacle? Well, let me tell you this obstacle that Job had. Then I'm going to pull you into this a little bit more. Chapter 3, verse 1 says, and after this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. Now, you remember, Job at first was blessing God. Now Job is cursing his day. He cursed his day by saying, in verse 3, let the day perish when I was born, and the night in which it was said, there's a man-child conceived. In other words, Job said, you know what? When I was born, my mom, my dad should have went head on and did away with me then. They should have aborted me. When my daddy found out my mama was pregnant, he should have hit her in her stomach by mistake. Whatever it took to get rid of me, he should have did it. Now, you would wonder what has happened in Job's life that has caused such a dramatic change. Well, we recognize that God has not changed. We recognize that God is still sitting on the throne. But we also recognize that Job is now experiencing something that he's never experienced. And now he's challenged by the faith to deal with this fear. Even though this series is called Virtual Reality. But now this subtitle, this message is called Facing Your Fears. Facing Your Fears. So we get down to verse 25. And in verse 25 of chapter 3, it says, for the thing which I greatly feared has come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me. I was not in safety, neither had I rest, neither was I quiet, yet trouble came. Job is saying, I'm at a place that I've never been in, but I've always feared to be there. And now it has come upon me. Well, then what has it done since it came upon Job? Now, because it came upon Job, Job's outlook on God is different. Catch this. His outlook on God is different. Not only is Job's outlook on God different, Job's outlook on life is different. Job at once loved life, but now Job hates life. His outlook on God is different. His outlook on life is different, but also his outlook on the future is different. What do fear do? Fear will capitalize you. It will get you in a place where you can't move forward. It will make you paralyzed, even in the spirit. Ask yourself, have you grown spiritually within the past 2 or 3 months? What is it that has gotten in your life, gotten in your way, that has caused you to not grow in the spirit, though God has not changed? Job is now facing a fear, and he don't quite know how to deal with it. Y'all ready for this? Virtual reality. Are you ready to face your fears? Without you facing your fears, you won't grow. Without acknowledging what your fears are, you won't grow. I had a fear, and I had to pray over it. I don't trust people. I'm going to show you how this goes. I just don't trust people. I don't trust people to the degree to where if in fact I think that they're going to do something wrong, I'm going to treat them like they're going to do something wrong. I'm going to watch them like they're going to do something wrong. I'm going to respond to them like that. And I'm going to be so guarded that I'm going to make sure that nobody or nothing and never penetrate this. Brother Mike, I've been so guarded and I've learned to live with it, even though I know it can't be right.
All right.
Facing my fears. Facing my fears so much, Sister Mac, that I just said, no, I don't care if it was family. I don't care who it was. It could be my children. It could be my mother. Don't trust anybody. Sure, I can trust an action. I figure that you'll cross me at the drop of a dime. Y'all ready for this? I don't think some of you are ready for it. So you don't know where this is going, really. And I was so gravitated into how I thought and how I believed that even when I got married to this young lady sitting right here, didn't trust her. I was okay with not trusting her. And she knew I didn't trust her. She didn't do anything wrong. Just the way I am. And I was challenged, if I am able to sustain this marriage, if I am able to grow in the Spirit, why won't I trust anybody? Why do I think everybody ought to give you? Well, probably because I did a lot wrong. I don't know what all it entails. I'm just telling you where I was at. And it was to the point to where I just, my mind races like probably unnormal people, or like not like normal people do. My mind races so much, to where I'm thinking 20 things at one time, and I'm so content with it.
All right.
But it's troubled mind. And I had to come to the understanding by God, that I cannot be like that and operate like that. Y'all ready for this? Because you got to be ready for your own fear.
Amen. I know that's right. Amen.
It's a virtual reality service.
Amen.
So I prayed one night. I said, Lord, I can't live like this. I can't be like this because I can't function like this. And I'll hurt the very people in some capacity, or at least won't be able to form a greater relationship because of the way I am. Not the way because of anybody else, because of me. And the very night I prayed, God showed me something that I experienced with my wife, that it was me, and that what was going on was within me, that she was not out to hurt me to any degree. That Satan was planting things in me that was really based off of my belief, though, in my head. It got so intense, because you all got to get this. Even I know that she's putting me on Facebook. I just want folks to get this thing.
Right.
Because see, we don't like dealing with truth.
All right. Amen.
And the scriptures say truth will set you free. And I believe that the truth will set you free. A lie will keep you captive. And that's why so many Christians are captive.
Come on, guys. Make it plain now.
I had a dream. And I dreamed about some of her family that I don't even know. The dream was so intense, Brother Mike. I asked her, I say, who? This stepdad. Did he used to drive it's a truck that, like you carry other cars with? You know what I'm talking about? Tow truck, thank you. And she said, yeah, I'm thinking, who stayed on Pearson Road? And she said, yeah, his mother stayed on Pearson Road. God, I'm seeing all this in my dream. I don't know any of this stuff. But then the other part I seen in my dream was the part that Satan just planted and wanted me to go with. And I'm thinking, something's wrong with this. Why Why am I seeing all this? And why do I know this? And it looks like how I think and how my mind is, I'm right with this negative stuff. God said, you're not right. If you don't know the difference, you will always fall short, because you will not know when it's my voice and you will not know when it's Satan's voice.
All right.
That's right.
I had to face my fears of letting somebody into me in a manner that I would never ever do. But I can grow if I don't. The challenge that I have now is just knowing when it comes up to decipher, to rebuke it.
Amen.
To decipher and rebuke it. Because what I will not allow fear to captivate me
All right.
from moving forward in Christ.
Amen. Amen.
So now, Job is in a place that he got a fear. It's capitalized on him. God don't look the same to him that he always looked.
All right. All right.
His life don't seem the same as it always seemed.
Right.
His future is extremely bleak.
All right.
My question to you, what is your fear?
Amen.
What is your fear? Are you willing to stand up and give me your fear right now? See, this is a virtual reality service. And in this virtual reality service, you're put in the midst of it. You're put here. Why? Because you say you want to change, you want to grow. I just want to challenge you to it. This is a different type of service. This is a virtual reality facing your fears.